So I do want to move on to News 4's Patrick Ryan, who is in the audience tonight. He's joined by some students who have prepared questions for our candidates. Patrick.
David Marley, thank you. I'm joined with Mayshawn, who is from the Buffalo Public Schools, and he has a question for the candidates.
Hi, I'm Mayshawn. What are your, I'm a senior at Riverside High School. What are your plans to improve safety in Buffalo Public Schools?
Mr. Scanlon.
Yeah, thank you. So for years, I think you've seen in municipalities across the country, mayors shy away from the schools issues. I think it can become very toxic politically for them. That's not something I've done since becoming mayor. It's not something I will do. We've established a great partnership with the Buffalo Public Schools already. If you see what we did with our capital budget, the largest in the city's history, it's $110 million, $55 million of that for the Buffalo Public Schools to improve safety, things like that in their buildings throughout the district to make sure their buildings are safe for teachers, students, and we'll continue to do that. I've established a tremendous relationship with the superintendent. Unfortunately, she is retiring. Fortunate for her, unfortunate for us. But I will quickly establish a relationship with the new superintendent and continue to work on partnerships like this. If we have to borrow for them, we will continue to do that to make sure we're implementing them. But we also have the Buffalo Police Department, Commissioner Al Wright, our Chief Young, who handles issues in the schools, continue to work with them to make sure that our schools are safe. Public safety is right at the top of my priority list. And if we aren't keeping people safe, we really can't do anything else. And that's whether it's in our neighborhoods and people want to walk into the store or a restaurant, but especially in our schools. If we can't keep our kids safe, we can't educate them. So again, we'll continue to work with the Buffalo Public Schools moving forward to the end that we have to make sure that we're doing that.
Mr. Scanlon, thank you. Mr. Ryan?
It's a tough question. I appreciate that. You're a senior in Riverside High School. You know the problems that exist in a lot of neighborhoods. But public safety it's a comprehensive program. So we need to make sure that we're working inside the schools, working with the school resource officers, working with the counselors inside the school. Our students are facing a mental health crisis. Kids are having a real hard time. In order to help them, we need to have full programs like the community schools model that I help to fund through New York State. Those are programs where a kid comes to school, they get all their basic needs met. If clothes are needed, they'll help them with clothes. If they need counseling, they'll help refer them to counseling. If their parents are unemployed, they will help refer their parents to an employment agency. And they are running the Saturday afternoon academies, and all those things build in a full response to what's going on in our community. And what's going on in our community, is a lot of poverty. And we have to make sure that we fully address this. It's not easy, but we got to do it. Whether it's from walking to school to make sure kids are safe when they're crossing the streets, to make sure they're safe from violence in and outside of schools.
Thank you. Mr. Whitfield?
Yeah, first and foremost, I think what we need to do is to make our children our priority, and that's never been done. We need to wrap our arms around our children and love them and treat them in a manner that they understand that they are our priority. Our children have been traumatized. The socioeconomic, indicators show us that 60% of our children are in poverty. This is unacceptable. We have to do a better job at educating our children. We have to meet them where they are. Programs are great, but we need to make them a priority. We need to invest in them wholly. The mayor should be intimately involved with the education of our children, should commit to that. And they don't need programs. They need, again, to be prioritized. Programs come with that. But first and foremost, we must decide what is important as a society, as a city, and it has to be our children. And if they know that, if they know that they're supported, right now they don't know that. We see them as the problem, but we're the problem. We're the problem because we have not provided a safe environment for them. We have to address, many of our kids have pre-existing trauma, have vicarious trauma, have trauma. They come to school every day. Nobody has dealt with that. Nobody talks about that. So these mental health issues do exist, but we have to deal with the poverty. We have to deal with the lack of affordable housing. All of these things have to be dealt with holistically, and so that our kids can be safe and come to school and learn. And we need to bring trades back to the schools also.
Mr. Whitfield, thank you. Mr. Tyson Thompson.
Yeah, education is one of those things that are deeply personal to me. I mean, as someone who's experienced virtually every form of education in this country, Buffalo Public Schools, charter schools, at HBCU, private religious institution at Canisius, and then 2 Ivies, I understand that education is the best way to change a person's trajectory in life. I'm not talking about just by race or zip code or any other socioeconomic demographic. It is the best way of changing your life for the better. So, I think that the city needs to do a better job, and I think that leadership has had a lack of courage to actually step in at the mayor's office for the school board. We need to have decisive and dynamic leadership in the mayor's office that steps up. Oftentimes, that it's been seen as a third rail, as a thing that they don't want to touch. As mayor, I plan on working with the school board and also with the state to make sure that the mayor has some accountability structures in the system, whether it means appointing the superintendent or also 2 at-large members in the school board. But the mayor's office has to have some kind of accountability structure. A large percentage of our property tax goes to the Board of Education. It's dropping a bucket compared to the rest of the funding they get, but it's a big portion for the city of Buffalo. I think with that, we need to renegotiate how can the mayor help out with the city in education.
Thank you. Mr. Wyatt?
Thank you, Marley. Thank you, young man, for the question. When I first got in office, one of the first things I did was establish the University District Youth Council. I don't think we make our youth a priority. I think that we make them their afterthought, and that's one of the biggest problems. In our fiscal problems, we're not allowed to put more money into these organizations. I refer to Leona Harper, who had a Boy Scouts troop that had Eagle Scouts. I've never heard of Eagle Scouts. But Eagle Scouts are the top of the line for these types of organizations. I want to fund groups that have great outcomes. There's a lot of different groups doing positive things, but we can't give them money because we're fiscally strapped. And we don't seem like that's important. We have to make our young people a priority. That young man, what he's talking about, the integration with the city council and the administration and the Board of Education should have been done a long time ago. We don't interact. We don't work well together. And those bad outcomes come because we don't work together. If we're saying the same speech sheet of music, talking about children, talking about the outcomes, putting them in position to win. We have so many young people who are leaving the city. Why? Because they don't feel like there's any hope for them, there's an opportunity. And so as the mayor, I'm going to make young people a priority of my administration, as well as working with the Buffalo school system and all these other groups, youth groups, to make sure that young people know that we prioritize them and they matter to us.
Mr. Wyatt, thank you.